Okay, hey, welcome back, you guys. This is really exciting. I'm so glad that you guys are all enjoying this. And listen, this is going to be my favorite part. We're going to do a series here. I will have a whole series on dream yoga. What is dream yoga? That is the most important. Just so that you know, I love dream yoga. It is my most favorite technique for entering lucid dreaming. When you get into the dream state, through a process of meditation, it's called dream yoga. Now, it can also be called wake-induced lucid dreaming. Okay, so wake-induced lucid dreaming or dream yoga is when you move from this state of consciousness, the waking state, into the dream state. But you never lose consciousness. It's a beautiful thing. You never fall asleep. Now, I did the whole series on the mnemonic lucid dreaming, and that is different because you actually do fall asleep and you lose consciousness, and something in the dream reminds you that you're dreaming. Well, this is much different. This is called dream yoga or wake-induced lucid dreaming, and you move from here to the dream state, and you do it through concentration, relaxation, and different techniques of meditation. Now, dream yoga is very much like regular yoga in the fact that what you're doing is that you are moving your body into different positions. Now, when you move your body in Western yoga into stretch form, where you're sitting there and you move into maybe the downward dog, or you move into one of the other positions and you hold that position and you breathe. The breath is very important. Now you hold that position and you wait until your body receives the energy from that pose. And dream yoga is the exact same thing, okay? So you move your body, except for you're moving your dream body, meaning that you're moving your visualization. Okay, so now if you closed your eyes right now and you visualized a ball of light on your third eye, and you held that ball of light there, now that would be a dream yoga pose. It's that simple. If you were to hold another pose, like a lotus flower and a flame in the middle of it, and hold that pose in your throat, well, then you would be practicing dream yoga. It's just a process of visualization, and that visualization is something that you hold, and then you start to receive the benefits of it.
Scientific experiments have shown that if we take a person and hook their brains up to certain PET scans or computer technology and ask them to look at a certain object, and they watch certain areas of the brain light up, and then they've asked them to close their eyes and now imagine that same object. And when they imagine that same object, it produced the same areas of the brain to light up as if they were actually visually looking at it. So it caused scientists to back up and ask this question. So who sees then? Does the brain see? Or do the eyes see? And what is reality? Is reality what we're seeing with our brain? Or is reality what we're seeing with our eyes? And the truth is that the brain does not know the difference between what it sees in its environment and what it remembers, because the same specific neural nets are then firing. So then it asks the question, what is reality?
Recognize that even the material world around us, the chairs, the tables, the rooms, the carpet, camera included, all of these are nothing but possible movements of consciousness. And I'm choosing moment to moment out of those movements to bring my actual experience into manifestation. This is the only radical thinking that you need to do. But it is so radical, it's so difficult, because our tendency is that the world is already out there, independent of my experience. It is not. Quantum physics has been so clear about it. Heisenberg himself, co-discoverer of quantum physics, said atoms are not things. They are only tendencies. So instead of thinking of things, you have to think of possibilities. They are all possibilities of consciousness.
I have a whole bunch of relaxation techniques on here, and you can go ahead and use those to relax your body. And relaxation is one of the biggest keys to dream yoga, because you can visualize all day, but if you do not relax the body, then you will not get lucid. Okay, so it's just something that you need to learn how to do, and I will help you along the way. But what I want you to do is start to get your visualization up to date, okay? And this is not so hard. Some people have a harder time visualizing things, and some people it's very, very easy. So here's what I want you to do. Remember that visualization and imagination are the exact same thing.
Well, the way our brain is wired up, we only see what we believe is possible. We match patterns that already exist within ourselves through conditioning. So a wonderful story that I believe is true is that when the Indians, the Native American Indians on the Caribbean islands saw Columbus's ships approaching, they couldn't see them at all because it was so unlike anything they had ever seen before. They couldn't see it.
When Columbus's armada landed in the Caribbean, none of the natives were able to see the ships, even though they existed on the horizon. The reason that they never saw the ships was because they had no knowledge in their brains or no experience that clipper ships existed. So the shaman starts to notice that there's ripples out in the ocean, but he sees no ship, but he starts to wonder what's causing the effect. So every day he goes out and looks and looks and looks, and after a period of time, he's able to see the ships. And once he sees the ships, he tells everybody else that ships exist out there because everybody trusted and believed in him. They saw them also.
So if you're visualizing something and you don't see it, but you are imagining that it's there, then you have the exact same power of that visual practice than if you actually saw it. So just remember that you don't necessarily have to see it in order for it to work. I mean, I've had students that could not see anything, but they, could imagine that it was there, and it would do the exact same thing, and they could get lucid through dream yoga without even seeing it. Okay, so you can do it too. So what I'm trying to do is just talk to you a little bit about how to visualize. And that's something that is very simple. Try to visualize something that you have sentimental value to. Maybe a ring, maybe a necklace, maybe a stuffed animal, something that was given to you that you love and that you can feel. And then put it in front of you, like this pen in front of me here. And then just go ahead and watch it. And watch it in a different sense. Try to look through it. Don't look at it. Surround your mind's eye with it, all around it. As you're looking at it, I have something in my throat. As you're looking at it, I want you to surround your eyes with it and look through it. Okay, it's very important. When your eyes begin to blur a little bit, close your eyes. And you're going to see an after image. Now this after image will last, maybe it'll last for 1 second, for a half a second, and then it'll fade away. When it fades away, open your eyes and look at it again. And then when your eyes start to blur, close your eyes and see the after image. Continue to do that and try to hold the after image in your mind's eye. Okay? Now, as soon as the after image fades, it's very important that you open your eyes and look at it again. And then continue and repeat that and practice that 10 minutes a day, every day, and I guarantee within less than a week you will be able to visualize. Now remember that when you close your eyes and if the after image begins to fade, then the biggest thing that you need to do is you have to feel the image. Okay, that's why I suggest you start with something that you have sentimental value to. Okay, because this is really important, that when you can feel the image, you can see the image, because the feelings are directly connected to our imagination, and our imagination is directly connected to our visualization. So go ahead and practice this exercise. Try it with different objects. Try it with pictures, and you'll see that some of the things that you have a really strong connection with, you will be able to visualize easier. Okay, and I want you to just try to get your visualization up to a point where you can hold an image of something that you want to hold, some object or an imaginary object, and hold that image. And I want you to be able to move it around. I want you to be able to hold it, and I want you to be able to move it into different parts of your body. I want you to see it in your third eye. I want you to see it in your throat. I want you to see it in your heart. I want you to see it in the first chakra, and in the genitals, the first chakra, where the sex organs are. And I want you to see it moving to the corner of the room. I want you to see it moving up, moving down. Start to get control over your visual world. This will be so helpful when we go through the courses in wake-induced lucid dreaming. And if your visualization and imagination or control over your imagination is strong, then you should have no problem getting lucid through wake-induced lucid dreaming. And I am so excited because this is going to be a fun course. I love wake-induced lucid dreaming. The process of moving from here to there while awake and experiencing what happens when you move into REM consciously is absolutely amazing. So we'll see you on the other videos, and don't forget to practice your lucid dreaming visualization exercises. Bye.
How do love and fear affect us? We already saw that if you have a lucid dream of absolute amazement and you feel excited and happy, that it affects us the same as we're awake. If you get into a state of meditation and you feel things and you visualize things, it affects us in the same way. What you're seeing here is a waveform of fear and love. Fear is a very long-moving wave, very slow. And love is a fast-moving wave, very fast in nature. And so I'm going to play another little video clip that kind of gives an idea of how these things of fear and love do affect us, and how important it is to try to stay in a place of love.
Mr. Emoto became terribly interested in the molecular structure of water and what affects it. Now, water is the most receptive of the four elements. Mr. Emoto thought perhaps it would respond to non-physical events. So he set up a series of studies, applied mental stimuli, and photographed it with a dark field microscope. This first picture is a picture of water from the Fujiwara Dam. And this picture is the same water after receiving a blessing from a Zen Buddhist monk. Now, in this next series of pictures, Mr. Emoto printed out words, taped them to bottles of distilled water, and left them out overnight. This first photograph is a picture of the pure distilled water, just the essence of itself. These subsequent photographs, as you can see, are each different. This is the chi of love. And we move along here to thank you. And you can see where he taped that to this bottle here. But if you read Japanese, you already knew that. Now, Mr. Emoto speaks of the thought or intent being the driving force in all of this. The science of how that actually affects the molecules is unknown, except to the water molecules, of course. And it's really fascinating when you keep in mind that 90% of our bodies are water.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? If thoughts can do that to water, imagine what our thoughts can do to us.
So what we're seeing is that thoughts, emotions are very powerful in affecting not only our body but our reality, what we see, what we experience. This is another example. If you take the double helix DNA structure and you superimpose the waveforms on it, and this comes from Greg Braden and Dr. Dan Winters in his book Awaken to Zero Point. What they did is a lot of studies on the effect of emotion and the DNA. And they found that whenever the waveform would go over the double helix structure, what it would do is it would create new coding sites for growth wherever it would touch. Because the DNA have little micro antennae that pick up waves of emotion. Wherever they touch, they create new coding sites for growth. As you can see, fear touches less than half, and love touches like twice as much. So I'm just bringing this up because we all know that the power of love and happiness is very powerful, but maybe not quite as much. And the reason why I bring this up in lucid dreaming is because lucid dreaming is such a powerful tool that we have in order to experience things that we may not be able to experience while we're awake, bringing in perceptions. What we saw earlier is that it doesn't really matter whether you experience things in a dream, in a visualization, in a meditation, or for real, but it affects the body in the exact same way. So lucid dreaming is powerful, meditation is powerful, visualization is powerful. With our nervous system as strong as it is, with our intention, our ability to direct our mind in any direction that we want it to go, then we can use this as an incredible tool for healing, physical body, depression, all kinds of things.